triggering change, one heartbeat at a time. Battle for freedom. Hello, everyone. This is Watson Prunier from Battle for Freedom on Mojo5 Radio. Glad that you are joining. You're going to be a part of this program today as we start off this week. It's Monday. My website, Battle4Freedom.com. From there, I want you to share this out to as many people as you possibly can because of the fact that this is an exciting time of just recovery. I don't know how your weekend was. My weekend was amazing. My website, Battle4Freedom.com, Battle4Freedom.com, as well as go to Mojo50.com, Mojo50.com. I'm glad to be part of this network and share so much with you. Also, we're going to start our day off the correct way because, you know, if I don't talk about it, I am just a boo-boo man if I don't tell you about American Pride Roasters coffee, especially my blend. That's it. I've hit the snooze button a dozen times and now I have to finally get going. But I'm not going to do this day right if I don't start it off with a cup of American Pride Roasters coffee, the official coffee of Mojo5 Radio. But I'm not going to lie to you. They have a wide variety of blends, but I'm leaning towards the one that's named after me, Watson's White Chocolate Caramel. You know what? It sounds as good as those words that just rolled off of my mouth. Listen, get it today, AmericanPrideRoasters.com. Tell them that Watson from Battle for Freedom sent you, and you want Watson's White Chocolate Caramel blend to start your day off. Join American Pride Roasters Coffee and Mojo5 Radio, and most important, Battle for Freedom, as we celebrate the best coffee in the nation, American Pride Roasters. Yes, and if you want to interact, you can do so like Brian, Linda, and Lek, who decided that they wanted to go to facebook.com/Mojo5 Radio to interact as we get into this interesting discussion today. And now you remember, I like making up words, okay? I like making up words. So this is going to be called Martyrs or Smarters, Fools of Engagement. Martyrs or Smarters, Fools of Engagement. The reason why I say this is because of the fact that we have a tendency to get into battles, into conflict with people, because of the fact that, like I said last week, we are combative people. We love to argue. We love to have a challenge. And yes, happy Columbus Day, or as the crazy ones will say, happy transplanted Native Americans Day, or whatever it was, because they're saying that Columbus stole America from the Native Americans because Columbus was the illegal alien who came to the United States. No time to entertain that craziness. It's just too funny. I laugh at that. When people go so far as to strain out something so insane like that, I realize, yeah, I'm not taking the bait of having a conversation with you because I know it's nothing but a trap. Now, I know that we can set baits for people to engage them into a conversation, but if our goal into getting a conversation with someone is just to try and beat them with our wits rather than try and see, hopefully, a transformation in their lives with them coming to the realization and knowledge of the truth, then it really isn't about us helping that individual. It really isn't about us trying to see someone get to the next level in life. It's really about us puffing ourselves up. Now, you want to talk about puffing things up. If you get a chance to go to Mojo50.com/open mic, you can listen to, there's 4 shows that play for the next few weeks, and you hear these different programs that just has great content. You have Ain't You a Peach, I can't remember the other ones, but you have Rocky with an I on another one, and just different various voices out there of listeners who've paid attention to this program. And so what they do is they cover their topics like I cover my topics, and it's just a different flavor. It's a different blend of radio. Mojo50.com/open mic. Take a listen and catch this. Now, what I want to get into today is something that is very troubling. By now, you should be aware of the tragedy that took place of shots fired, and there was a death there was a shooting, and I believe it was in Colorado this past weekend, where people wanted to take control. Here it is. Let's see. Patriot Mustard protester, and the Pinkerton security guardsman who killed him. This is it was in Colorado, in front of a Denver Art Museum. And so I'm going to start playing with this, not playing with, but showing you the audio so that we can actually take a listen to this. Now, the first video I'm going to show you is everything in a split second that shows the shooting, and then the police coming in to deal with this and put it into it. So here it is. So what you saw in the video was this idea of there was a shot fired, and the police responded quickly. They were on top of it. They didn't think anything about it. They were on the scene to deal with this. What I want to do for you is I want you to see everything leading up to this, okay? Everything leading up to this. And this is very sad as you watch this thing here. I'm not going to lie to you. A life was lost. And I think right now, because everybody wants to be in engaged mode, that nobody wants to be in, should I really be doing this mode? Should I really be doing this? Is this a battle? Is this a hill that I'm willing to die on? And this is a question that many need to understand and ask themselves before it gets to the point where you're being shot in front of a museum in Denver. So, what are you doing? Wrong one. Go back to this one. So as you watch this, you can start watching that there's this confrontation. And in the image, when you're watching this thing with the person who ends up being shot, he's engaging another individual who looks like he could probably be, half black, probably a tinge of Caucasianly challenged in him. And so both of them, these are attitudes that are basically getting in front of each other, and they're wanting to say, well, yeah, you want to fight with me? Touch me. Get into my space. Get into my realm. And I'll tell you exactly how this goes. So as you're watching this thing unfold with these individuals here, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, why are you having this conflict, okay? Now, mind you, in this whole time, in this conflict that's happened, you have this older gentleman trying to get in the way and stop the fight, separate them. But the person on the right is so angry that he wants to turn around and he wants to even beat the person who's trying to be the peacemaker, okay? So the whole idea of wanting people stand their ground and be angry and do all these other different things, and it's like, okay, so what's going on here? Now, mind you, you have to understand that in this process, there's a lot of profanity. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I want you to understand something. I counted 7 seconds from the time that he was no longer there. Oh my goodness. 7 seconds. I counted. The lights went out. And even as you sit here and you watch the darkness on social media, I want you to understand that things went really awry, just like that. I'm showing you this because of the fact that as you're watching this and as you're sitting there watching this thing take place, a life was lost. I want you to understand this. You don't see anything right now. I want you to understand how horrific these things can go because of the fact that we chose to be so engaged and combative and think that we were going to be the ones who were going to control everything and no one could tell me what to do. This is how bad it got. That a life was lost and there's nothing that we can do about it. The person is gone. The person is no longer with us. As you sit here and understand what happened in between these individuals. Yes, no, you still don't see anything because of the fact that I want you to understand how life was lost. Life was lost because of the fact that we never think about the reality of whether it is right, whether I should really engage in this situation or not. Why am I choosing to do this? Why am I choosing to get engaged in this way? That many people think that, you know what, tomorrow's guaranteed. I'm going to do whatever I want to. I'm going to engage in whatever way I want to. I want to start a fight. I want to be angry. I want to be frustrated, and not realize, was it really worth it? Was it really worth it that now I'll never see my family members again? Because of the fact that I chose that I wanted to get into a battle. I wanted to get into a fight. I wanted to win. You're not around anymore. The lights are closed. Your number's been called. You're either in heaven or you're in hell because of the fact that you thought this was the best time for you to engage a perfect stranger. I do not know who they are. Epic fail. Epic disaster. Nothing you can change that will make things easier for you. And you thought that this was the best decision that you could make. You thought this was the best move that you can do. And in the end, what has it brought you? This is you're angry. You want to see me, right? I want you to think about this. They can't see you anymore. No one can see you anymore because of the fact that you decided that you want to be a ruler, a master, and you lost your life. So now I'm gonna really make you angry. Now I'm really gonna make you frustrated. I'm gonna turn around and I'm going to shut off the stream. I'll start it back up in a second here. But y'all don't seem to understand how bad this was. Yeah, I'm gonna freak you out. I'm going to split the stream for you as you sit here wondering, Watson, why won't you let me see this? Why won't you let me watch? You see how frustrating it is to think that you had control in life for a brief second, but you chose to make the worst move possible, and it cost you your life. Do you realize that in choosing to be thinking that you were smarter in how you engaged, you wound up losing your life? You wound up losing your life. Yes, you still can't see me. I think the rest of the broadcast should be like this, that you don't see me and recognize that I made the worst move possible. Yeah, I split the screen. I split it just to be annoying, just to let you know how dumb it was to engage in a matter, to go into a fight that you had no business entertaining. You see how there was like this rude interruption, this rude disconnection, and bring back the video. I can't see anything. What's going on here? Do you realize that man is dead? That man is dead now. There's nothing you can do to fix the situation. There's nothing you can do to bring him back. Hebrews 9:27 says it's appointed for a man to die once, and then the judgment. It's appointed for a man to die once, and then the judgment. This man is dead now, and there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do to fix this tragedy, because everybody wanted to be big. Everybody wanted to rule the world. And in the end of this, someone's life was lost. In the end of this, someone's life was tragically snuffed out because of the fact that I had to be the big cheese. I had to be the big chief. I had to be the one that people were going to pay attention to, because you're going to listen to me whether you like it or not. It's so disappointing because they thought that I'm going to win this battle. I'm going to win this war. And you lost. See, right now, what the tragedy of what happened there, it was for many. This is a warning. This is a warning. Everybody wants to go to battle right now. Everybody, I don't know if it's playing too much Call of Duty or just looking at your duty. I don't know what it is. But there are a lot of people who just want to engage, and so I have time for this. One of the funny things about me, and I tell you guys about my Rambro Jesus day, because I'm going to come back to this tragedy in a second here. In my Rambro Jesus days, one of the things that I had done is, I got a lot of puffed up attitude, like I'm this victor and I'm going to defeat the devil. And I'm going to combat the devil and his armies of darkness and everything like that. So here I am. I want my Bible, and I think I'm going to kick down the doors of every cult, kick down the doors of people who are false preaching and everything like that. I thought that, and what I tried to do is everything was in my strength, okay? Everything was in my strength, how I was going to defeat evil, and none of it was in the strength of God. Now, mind you, I bought into a lot of the word faith language that basically said to me, well, you know what? You have to turn around and you have to chase down the devil, and you have to bind him in Jesus' name, and you have to sit there and argue and tarry with the devil and everything like that. I mean, literally, the way that I don't know what was it, the poltergeist or the exorcism. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. We're thinking that we're throwing our holy water, our anointing oil on these demonic influences and believing that this is the real spiritual warfare that we're supposed to engage in. And I was chasing every last one of them you can down. I was not a help to the kingdom of God. I was a hindrance. Because some people looked at it and say, if this is the Christianity you're offering me, I want nothing to do with it. So in my efforts, in my own strength of believing that I'm promoting Christ, I was actually promoting Watson. I was promoting anything but Christ. I want to give you a spiritual scripture passage that you can look at here. That this is the most key form of spiritual warfare that you can look at and appreciate when we talk about what spiritual warfare looks like. Submit yourselves, therefore, to God. Step 1. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Submit yourself, therefore, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. James 4:7. In other words, when you decide that you're going to get in, you know sometimes how little kids feel emboldened when their big brother or their daddy's around and their daddy's going to fix a situation and fight. We need to kind of be like that. But it's not our pastor. It's not, even our soldiers, as amazing as they are. We need to be standing behind God. But there is this teaching out there that talks about we have the authority from God in Jesus, and the authority that they operate by has been given to us, and this is how we engage. No. All authority, all power has been given to me is basically what Jesus said in Matthew 28. All power and all authority. I love, oh, wow. See, so people who decide that they want to interact, and those of you who got kicked off early, I apologize, but it was a hard lesson that needed to it was a hard lesson that I needed to help you understand on this, because of the fact that we keep playing church, and we keep thinking that God's going to bless us, even though we're doing nothing to show him that we want to be walking in obedience with him. So I've got this phrase here. Sorry, I can't give you an exact picture of what he looks like right now, but he's one of the fans of Mojo 50 Radio, and I love this of what he said here. Curtis Ray said, exorcism is above my pay grade. Curtis Raylia, I love it. Oh, Curtis and Aurelia. Sorry. I love it. Exorcism is above my pay grade. I love this. We spend so much time. We spend so much time engaging the enemy, and we spend so little time being in the presence of God. Yesterday, I had the blessed opportunity to preach at one of my friends' church, a dear friend, a dear brother. I really appreciate him more than you can imagine. And if you want to watch it, I posted it on my timeline. I posted it on Mojo 50's timeline of the opportunity I had to preach yesterday, because of the fact that it's a real good side of what our faith walk looks like. It's just one of many presentations to help you prepare you better in engaging the worst case scenario. But sometimes we engage and we start trying to find the enemy. We keep starting to find and engage Satan and engage the demons and engage all this stuff. And you remember how the screen was like blank and dead for a while there? Sometimes that's our life. Sometimes our life is blank and dead because of the fact that we're off on rabbit trails that we have no business entertaining. And then we wonder why nothing makes sense anymore. It's like because of the fact that we're focusing on the inconsequential. I'm going to get back to this guy's story. I want to find this. Where is this? I had this a second ago. Not that. I had this. There's a passage. There's a passage of, I don't know how many of you have heard this. The sons of Sceva. In Acts, I want you to go check this up. Look up the sons of Sceva. These were individuals who were enamored with the power that the disciples had to basically cast out demons. And so what happened was they were like, well, I want to do this. And I'm going to sit there and I'm going to engage the devils. I'm going to sit there and engage demons. I'm going to cast people out. And the sons of Sceva, they decided that they were going to engage this person who was demon possessed. And the demon says, I think it's like, Paul, I know. Jesus, I know. But who are you? Because again, this ideology that I'm operating in the authority that God's giving me, and I have authority over demons, and I'm going to cast you out. The demon's like, I don't know who you are. Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit afraid about Paul. I'm definitely going to be afraid with Jesus, but I don't know who you are, so let me whoop your tail. And many of the times we sit here thinking that we're going to win this battle. We're going to be the ones who are going to be the victors. And God's saying, no, I never sent you. I never told you. I told you hang out with me and I'll take care of them. I mean, that literally is the Bible wrapped up in a whole. We screwed up. We have an enemy trying to destroy us. And God basically said, right in the middle of our mess up, right in the middle of them failing, right, and thinking that they could get away with it, God still provided a way out from our own foolishness, from our own pettiness. Spiritual warfare, it's deep, folks. Holy cow, time is flipping on me, and it's going really fast, and I'll do the best that I can to make certain that you can watch and you can enjoy this as we talk more about this. We're going to go to a break in about a minute here. But I sit here and I look at this. I was looking at the guy's shirt and I was like, it said BLM. I'm like, what in the world is that? It says BLM, you're effing right. Bikers' lives matter. He wanted to engage. Was it right what the guy did, that he would lose his life? No. But you're in a confrontational manner. You're in a confrontational spirit. And unfortunately, you lost your life as a result of it. How many more of you are out there right now, eager to engage, and you're just one incident away from dying? You're not a martyr. You're smarters, given the illusion that you have intelligence when you're playing the fool. I'm your host, Watson Pernier. Let's go to a break, and we'll talk more about the fools of engagement after this break. This election will be vital to the health and sustainability of our country.
Our role from this day on could steer the election in either direction. Why? The way we treat one another. In John 13:35, Jesus says, "By this all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." We know that every election cycle brings out the worst in us. If there was ever a point for honesty, it is in how we act during election season. As much as we would want our candidate to win, attacking a person with contrary opinions only makes them determined to reject our point of view all the more. It may come off as ignorant from them, but we cannot claim innocence if we allow arrogance and disrespect to be the means in which we communicate with those who support the other party or other candidates. Our goal was and will never be to convert voters. Our role is to give them the information needed prior to them casting their vote. It is their choice and right of what they do with that information. Understand, more people are aware of the political corruption and hypocrisy than they wish or want to admit. So there's nothing for us to prove. Choose to be people who invoke change rather than people who irritate and strain. Dale Carnegie once wrote, "A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still." In other words, give people the room to make their own mistakes. Without seeing that they were wrong, they would be blind to see what is right. Remember, every soldier present and gone have fought for the right of every American citizen to vote their own conscience. To insult and ridicule people for exercising their liberty to vote for their candidate is to also desecrate the efforts, memories, and sacrifices made by our heroes for said liberty. Please, show respect. Our nation depends on it.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Watson Prunier from Battle for Freedom on Mojo 50 Radio, and I'm glad that you are following, you're paying attention, and you're providing feedback. This is really important. Martyrs are smarters, fools of engagement, play on words. Normally you hear rules of engagement, but this is fools of engagement, because I believe that we put ourselves in positions where we can die if we don't have the right focus, we don't have the right mentality as we're engaging. Talking about the right mentality, I want you to take a listen to this with New Life Holistic.
Does your mind seem like it often shuts down before it even starts? Sounds like you need to detox to improve your health in body, mind, and spirit. I'd like to tell you about New Life Holistic. It is an amazing therapy process that uses neurofeedback and biofeedback for many issues that ails everyone. New Life's method and approach to health, balance, energy, and vitality is what sets it apart from anything you have experienced ever before. Call 1-833-4-BIO-LIFE and tell them Watson from Battle for Freedom had sent you. One more thing. Give them the code MOJO50 and save $50 off of your first session. The consult is free. New Life Holistic.
Yes, New Life Holistic. Get your brain connected and moving in the right direction, because of the fact that this is key. This is key to us. This is key to us moving forward in the right direction and avoiding many of the pitfalls here. You know, again, when you look at the cover photo for today's program, I'm using this picture of this woman face planting. And, you know, the phrase is, "that did not go as planned." And honestly, the tragedy that took place this past weekend was a major face plant. It was a major face plant because of the fact that we have to understand that there are people who are just combative and they just want to engage. I was looking at this guy's website, on his Facebook page, and I was seeing some interesting things about, how can you talk to your cat about gun safety? This is the individual who wound up shooting the shooter. In the instance this past weekend. He sells honey. He seems like he could be a prepper in many ways, but everybody's going to do their best to call him a white supremacist. Everybody's going to do the best that they can to portray him as this just pro-Trump, pro-guns individual. And understand this, when you look at his website, when you look at his Facebook page, I found it's crazy. When you look up this guy, there's a lot of crazy things. Was this one? This was another one where he says, let's just hope No Russians were not on the ground when the missiles came down in Syria. It's not just only that. You'll see a lot of different things. One was the State of the Union is depressed, exhausted, and broke. This was the second State of the Union that the president had done in 2018. What was another one here where he basically shows, you know what? He says he can't stop laughing as it says Trump wrestles with the English language in Trump wrestles the English language in a Wall Street Journal interview. So as you look and you have the time to actually go to this person's page, you'll learn, oh my goodness, oh, he did not like the president. There was so much that he did not care for. So there was already a combative spirit in him. Okay, how can I wrap this up without you guys getting mad at me? You have to understand, what is the phrase, pick your battles wisely? Choose your battles. And everybody wants to fight. And I know we're near civil war. Sometimes I sit here and I wonder, we have so much admiration for our founding fathers. We have so much admiration for those first fighters in this country that gave us our victory and freedom from Mother England. Mother England. We left that tyranny to start our own freedom here. And I think that sometimes we get so enamored with what's going on there or what they did in the past that we want to replicate it. We want to be soldiers of glory. We want them to tell tales of our bravery and our spirit of patriotism. We want new old glories created and painted because of the fact that we are the new trial. We are not the new trial. We are the new tribe. We are the new patriots. We are the new misfits who will bring about a revolution and change. We mock Antifa. We mock Black Lives Matter for their efforts to be warriors, social justice warriors. But how many of us are so eager to pew pew that we get into an argument with someone? And it's unfortunate that we lose our lives because we had no business being in an argument with someone. Let's go down to some of these different things that are here on this. Let's before I go to the next topic. Look at this here. So at one particular point, this is the final area where there was this encounter where he turned around and he fired. The one gentleman is spraying pepper spray. This individual actually decides to pull out a gun. Pepper spray is not it's a threat. But here, you know what? I don't know if you caught it. When I was sitting there playing the earlier video, I sat there and I counted. You hear me count to 7 to 8. Where did this guy come from? When you sit here and you look at the video in the encounter where the gentleman lost his life, what was really interesting about this is when you watch the video and you take yourself through the encounter and you get through this thing here, and one of the things that I noticed in this was the person who was the shooter is nowhere to be found as you get through this. Even as the many times the younger man is pushing the older man who's trying to basically stop them. And when you watch the video that's out there, about 7 seconds before he's shot, and you watch the video, the guy turns, he looks to his right, he puts up his mask, and now he's engaging the person who shoots him. And what's really interesting in this is because of the fact that when you watch that thing take place about him being shot, 7 seconds, something happened. This guy was supposedly a security person. This was supposedly a security guard. That was the first narrative. That was the first. You see how quickly they go to actually change this? And they don't want to give you the full truth. And they sit there, they're going to paint him out to be this Trump supporter, this pro-guns, pro-biker, pro-everything. And the person who shot him, he was with us. He was hired. Now we find out the guy never was hired at all. The guy never had the right to be there in the first place functioning. This is not a Kyle Rittenhouse situation here. See, because I know where you guys are going to go with this, because you're going to try and make it seem like this is Kyle Rittenhouse. This is another Kyle Rittenhouse situation. No. Far from it. Far from it. Now, you sit here and you're like, well, there was an attack and everything like that. This thing right here is a lot different than a mob of people jumping down on you. This situation right here is a lot more different than a person beating you with a skateboard over your head. This situation here is different than a person who actually has a gun pointed at you, even though you're retreating with a rifle in your hand. This is completely different. And so before you even think about entertaining the Kyle Rittenhouse angle, you're wrong. Watching this thing, it never should have gotten to the point where he felt combative enough to pull out his gun. Because of the fact that he wanted to play here left, when you sit here and you talk about gun people who just want to eagerly engage, a relative always said, getting a gun in your hand gives you a sense of power and everything like that. Responsible gun owners, it's not the issue of power that we understand here. We understand there's a level of responsibility. There's a price that comes with pulling that trigger. Many of you who keep pushing this narrative right now that police just love happily shooting black people. Are there some sick, twisted people like that out there? Yeah, possibly. Is it every person who wears a badge? No. Is it the majority of people who wear the badge? No. But instead of actually learning and understanding our situation before we start engaging and spouting off our mouths, we just decide to go in guns blazing, pun intended, and lives are lost. Because we are combative. We are combative. This whole thing could have been avoided. This whole thing could have been avoided, and it's only going to, folks, you keep wanting to fight. You keep wanting to battle. Let me go back to my scripture passage. Submit yourself, therefore, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Think about this. If this is such a key, one of the key verses in the scripture talking about spiritual warfare, you know, the Ephesians chapter 6, verses 10 through 18, we start talking about spiritual warfare there. About putting on the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the sword of the spirit of truth, word, the feet, God, for the gospel message, the belt. Is it the belt of truth? Forgive me, I did not review this passage before starting this broadcast, so forgive me if I've done you a disservice. Read Ephesians chapter 6, verses 10 through 18. Talking about spiritual warfare, because right now, more than anything else, most people keep thinking, this is my time to go to war. This is my time to engage. Not realizing this is spiritual warfare. Are there human components? Are there physical components to this whole battle? Oh, most definitely. But if you thought that you were going to engage in spiritual warfare, engage in warfare and not look at the spiritual component and recognize that there's some of these people are just really messed up in the head and they're being moved and motivated by demons. And some of them are probably even getting strength and energy because of their demonic possessions. And y'all keep showing up to a gunfight with a knife. Untouchables, Kevin Costner, Sean Connery. You come up to a gunfight with a knife. And you know what? You lose every time. How many of you remember that wonderful scene in Indiana Jones? And, you know, he's fighting the guy, and the guy's sitting there doing all this trickery work and looking all really cool, swinging his sword and everything like that. And Harrison Ford, gone. It's over. Nothing fancy. Nothing pretty. Gone. That's what happened this past weekend. That's the tragedy. I'm not making light. I'm not making fun of the life being lost. I'm just trying to say, what more do you need to see to recognize that many of us need to slow our rolls? Slow down. Stop being so combative. Stop being so combative and actually spend time with God. I don't think people want to do it. I don't know why. You want to talk about being prepared for a worst case scenario. This is one I want you to check out.
When the world is going to hell in a handbasket, you need rugged. You need strong. You need durable. You need cat coolers. These are the best coolers on the market in 27, 55, and 88 quart. Go to catcoolers.com and give them the code Watson to save 10% on your purchase. Don't settle for those substandard containers that melt, leak, and destroy your memorable moments. Tell them that Watson from Battle4Freedom sent you. Cat Coolers.
Cat coolers send that because, again, the battle's coming in, and if you're choosing not to be prepared for the worst case scenario, we also have a new sponsor that kind of helps you even deal with the reality of what's going on here. If you want to take it to the next level and you're not prepared, you don't have the right representation, you could be in a world of hurt thinking that you were in your right to defend yourself, and you may not even fully understand this. uscca.com/mojo50. uscca.com/mojo50. I want you to go there. I want you to share this out with as many people as you possibly can, because you know what? At this particular point, there's nothing more I can say to you. You're just in a happy-go-lucky, gotta shoot something off mentality, and if you're gonna go do that, at least the best that you can do. You don't want to listen to God. You don't want to listen to me. You don't want to listen to common sense. At least listen to the people at USCCA. And prayerfully, you will not spend too much time in the slammer because of the fact that you thought you were MC Hammer. I just had to do that. I'm sorry. I'm still on the high from alliterating yesterday. Here's something really interesting. This is an interesting battle that the president continues to have, as there's this flip-flop on masks, on the success of the president. How many of you have seen this, where the president has this new ad out there right now, and Dr. Fauci doesn't like his words being taken out of context, even though while they are in the proper context of what he's sharing. So the newest ad from
President Trump is recovering from the coronavirus, and so is America. Together, we rose to meet the challenge, protecting our seniors, getting them life-saving drugs in record time, sparing no expense. President Trump tackled the virus head-on, as leaders should.
I can't imagine that anybody could be doing more.
We'll get through this together. We'll live carefully, but not afraid.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Yes, so Dr. Fauci doesn't like his words being taken out of context. Okay? You said, you commended what the president was doing. You basically spoke positively of the situation, but because you have to play politics, because you have to play partisanship with the lives of millions and millions of Americans. Remember, 2.5 million lives are predicted to be lost earlier this year. And the president's sorry. Oh, he killed 210,000 people. No, he killed? He didn't kill 210,000 people. China killed 210,000 people, and Democrat mayors and governors killed 210,000 people. When you sit here and you look at 46% of the lives that were lost were senior citizens living in senior homes, in elderly care facilities, and Cuomo and other mayors send COVID patients into these establishments. Germ warfare, disease warfare, downright evilry. Use your vote to remove these monsters in office. And y'all keep thinking that the real monster is Donald Trump. And I'm saying to you, you need to look at the ones who have the power. You call Donald Trump a tyrant because he's trying to tell your governors, your mayors, what to do. And he's stepping back and giving them an opportunity to engage and trying to help the communities. Not by shutdowns, but by reasonable legislation. reasonable leadership that tells people, listen, if you're sick, stay home. Don't get other people sick. But you, no, stay home if you're sick. Common sense. We need to bring back common sense. But you see, that's the problem. We're having all this fight. We're trying to engage in everybody and not realize that we're not engaging in people using common sense. And we wonder why things aren't working. Huh. Try common sense. It works. I'm done with talking about that shooting. The guy shouldn't have been there. Fauci blown away because he doesn't like being used as a word. Here's one I thought that was very interesting in reference to this battle that's going on here. So now Boris Johnson, and Downing Street, they're deciding that they want to get behind Joe Biden. They're flirting with the Biden campaign because they don't believe that the president's chances of being elected in November are possible. So they want to woo. They want to woo because the fact that everything is dependent on making sure that our economy can stand up correctly with the United States. And we're going to do everything we can to make certain, we're going to do everything that we can to make certain that we're going to survive. Do you realize that in all the codependence, the mentality that a lot of people have had for so long, and they're so codependent on other nations of helping them, that they've lost their focus on being dependent on God. So they're so determined to hold on and clutch on because of the fact that I've got to connect to the United States. I understand this. If you think about it, in our arrogance, in our haughtiness, we don't try and lean on other nations. Is it a fault at times? Yeah, I would say it's a fault at times. A level of arrogance that can hurt us if we don't humble ourselves before God and show an attitude of gratitude. It can hurt us in the end. But I find this very interesting, playing both sides. This is how we turn around and think that we're going to win. Just put some stock on betting on both sides of the fight. Pick a side. Pick a side and stand with character and conviction that, you know what? If I made the wrong choice, I made the wrong choice. Yeah. When it's all said and done and the battle's over, if you lost and you picked the wrong side, admit it. Say, yep, I picked the wrong side. I carried this all the way to the end, and I thought this was going to work, and in the end, I picked the wrong side. But see, everybody wants to come out a winner. They want to come out on top saying minimal loss. Minimal loss. Instead of winning, the term now is minimal loss. And see, that's sick. That's sick. That's basically saying I'm willing to accept collateral damage in the poor decisions that I make. So what happens is that's nothing but foolery. That's not when you're willing to allow there to be collateral damage that other people can be affected and lives can be ruined because of the fact that you're willing to make poor decisions. That's foolery. That's foolishness. And again, you're not smarter. Neither are you a martyr. You're playing the fool. So go ahead, Boris Johnson. Do whatever you need to do. Do whatever you need to do and go from there. Here was one other one I thought that was really interesting. So today, it begins. Well, more important than anything else, a dear friend, it's her birthday today. So happy birthday, Taryn. This week, another young lady is going to be in the front sights of America. So now we deal with Amy Coney Barrett. The confirmation starts today. And now you have Handmaid's Tales protesters descending on Capitol Hill. And it's really sad when you watch. This is what I don't understand. You're for women's freedom. You're for women's rights. You're for the Me Too movement, but you're actively engaging in destroying a woman. Your battle to fight for the freedom of women by attacking a woman who's successful in life. I mean, make no mistake, there were challenges with Sarah Palin and some, because I'm just going to say I believe that Sarah Palin was a genuine person. Unfortunately, Sarah Palin got wrapped up in the personality of conservatism. There's the lights, the cameras, the action. Oh yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of pressures to want to keep up an image instead of just being yourself. Why struggle? Why fight trying to put up an image that doesn't exist? Be real. Be true. Be transparent so that you can let the world see you have your flaws and you're working through them. And there's visible, tangible evidence that you're actually working through the changes rather than just being lip service. But here's a woman who's so successful in her life. She's graduated and she's served as a judge, and these women are out here attacking Amy Coney Barrett. And I'm thinking, your attacks against her character, your attacks against her success is a direct affront to your own message in the first place. And think about this. And again, we're guilty of this. Okay, how many times do we play clips and videos, things from movies because, it's cool, it works, it's a trap? Admiral Akbar from Star Wars. That we sometimes think that life is a movie. I think that's the problem. Is we're engaging in this battle because of the fact we're so busy focusing on the movies that we're not focusing on reality. I don't know how many times I've always made in the past, I would make so many references from the TV show Seinfeld, because I spent a lot of time watching Seinfeld, that it became my first language when I was talking about things. Movie scenes became first language. And when you see that a lot, you can see where the majority of people's time would be. Pray for this week. It's not going to be good. Pray for the spirit of Amy Coney Barrett and her husband, and her kids, as they're about to see. If this confirmation hearing is anything like what we saw with Judge Brett Kavanaugh, I believe the lightning is going to strike us. Rightfully so. Because people are creating this battle, people are creating this tension that really, it's not there. You're going to go out of your way to destroy the reputation and character of Amy Coney Barrett because you lost and you can't get your way. That's foolery. Let's go to another side for a second here. This is what I saw last week, and I was going to share, and I didn't get a chance to talk about this. They basically said that 276 fake accounts tied to Turning Point Action who used them. Facebook removed 276 Facebook accounts that were tied to Turning Point Action promoting itself. The profiles are accused of using fake identities to spread pro-Trump information. Now, if Facebook blames marketing company linked to Turning Point, and the conservative active groups is led by Turning Point founder Charlie Kirk. Here's my thing on this whole situation here. If this actually is true, if this is true that 276 fake accounts were created by Turning Point to lift up the network, yes, this is a shame. Shame on you, Charlie Kirk, for doing that. Trust me, I understand, and I've worked with people in radio who created fake accounts to bolster their credibility on the platform. They put follow bots on you on Facebook, on Twitter, to make it seem like you have 1 billion accounts out there. Don't lie. Listen, if only 4 people are listening to my show, if only 2 people listen to it, if no one's listening to the show, I'm not changing my content so I can gain more people. I'm sharing what's on my heart. I'm sharing because of the fact that, again, I'm being attacked. Some of these people, they use these fake accounts to attack themselves. I'm being attacked. This is so sad. You've got to figure out a way to try and bring attention to yourself by creating a false premise, and then get people to white knight and fight for you and defend you. That's not bravery. It's an illusion. It's a lie. It's a deception. and the work of the devil. You want to talk about something brave? You want to talk about something amazing? 3 girls beat out nearly 2,000 entries at the Technovation World Summit. Their Nigerian teens win this international prize as they created an app that helped people with dementia. Their app, Memory Haven, has reminders, photo albums, and memory games, playlists tied to facial recognition, play music aimed at cheering a user up. Memory Haven is coming to app stores this month. You want to talk about warfare? Fighting an ailment plaguing society. A physical ailment plaguing society. Those girls will be the martyrs that we appreciate for their sacrifice that they made. Up next is Brad Staggs and Daily Mojo, or even Patriotically Correct. Your time of the day? Who knows? I'm out.